What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I see you guys piling into the room. Got my YouTube peeps in the house as well. Good morning to you guys. We got CJ bright and early. Good morning to Albert, Alex. We got Anna. Good morning. We got Bill, Brian Reppel in the house. Good morning to Cameron. Carlos, good morning. Carrie, Kathy, Corey, D, Daniel, DC, Doc, man. It's only the people in the beginning of the alphabet that get some shout outs just because it's so long. We got Joel, we got JT. Good morning, Larsley and Michael. We got Mike, Nancy. Good morning. We got Rex. We got Rock Fullwood. Good morning to Ron, Roger. We got Sean, Simon. I'm trying to get to the end of the alphabet. We got Wally, Warren says, Sebastian, good morning to everybody. I just didn't have time to cover everybody's name, but good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are doing absolutely incredible. And we kind of halfway through a free week. So technically not yet. Technically, maybe like 12 noon Eastern, we'll be there. But I do appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. Let's get to the market. Let's see what's going on. We do have a little bit of a gap down. So last 2 days of free week. you can't plan it any better. You just can't. We every single day prior to free week, just massive ranges, pretty good sized candles. And then they give us we're like, yeah, we're gonna do free week, which we plan out a full year in advance. And we get the smallest trading ranges you could possibly get. So we'll see. But again, this is the market. You can't fake the market. The market is going to do what the market's going to do. As much as people love to call tops, love to call bottoms, love to call direction changes, the market will do whatever the market's going to do. As a trader, you just got to flow with it. You got to make sure that you just stick to your plan, because the longevity of your plan, that's what's going to get you paid. That's what's going to turn you from I hit some trades to win, I hit some trades to lose, but I'm not really making any money, to, all right, I'm consistently profitable in the markets, right? And that's our goal as traders. Just, it doesn't matter if you win on trade, lose on trade. Some days you're going to get these tight ranges. The long term, the longevity of just repeating the process over and over again, having a steady plan, that will make it. So 2 small trading range days. We'll see what happens. We are getting a little gap and go in the market. Am I excited and really, really impressed by this gap down? No, not yet. Not yet. We're still in this big one candle. So this is the candle we've been talking about forever. Is today the day we finally could break through it? We're below the 10 EMA on a daily. That hasn't happened in a while. The last time, though, it did happen. Let's find it. Right here. So here's a little bit of a gap down, and we rallied right back up through it. We got some level of, like, yeah, if people are trying to buy low on this candle, again, I don't know if this thing breaks through or not, but we are trading risk to reward. If somebody could get in to a stock here, which I think you could have about 4 a.m. this morning, and you're throwing your stop here, because if it breaks this zone, it's probably going lower, right? So there could be a decent bullish case that, even though this is a gap and go, I think we are able to probably get back up to some of these ranges, maybe even into, I would probably look at retested to 454.48. Then we have to see if that one breaks. If that one breaks, probably the next stop could get us to 455.90, and we're kind of right back into this. So not saying that we are going to fade this gap or that has to happen, but I could make a really good case where if some traders want some good risk to reward, that's the candle you really don't want to break down. So you right now you're getting a little bit of that risk to reward. We'll see. We will see. We got Lauren wants to take a look at pins and Boeing. Let's take a look at the Qs real quick. Alex wants to take a look at Tesla. All right. So we got the Qs, a little bit of a gap and go as well. Do we have a massive amount of people trapped in this thing? Probably not. Probably not. This one will be opening below. Well, again, I don't know where it's going to open, but right now it is below the 10 EMA on a daily. We've been there before, managed to rally back. It looks like we have a mini double bottom that could save us, but this location does look a little bit on the weaker side. Just if we can't open above 379.65 on the Qs, we probably have the ability to come down and retest this 376.65 today. And again, that would at least be some good. I mean, not good for the bulls, but a good at least give us a little range today. We'll see. But yeah, to the downside, we still should have a pretty strong support somewhere around 376.45. To the higher side, I mean, first stop is 380.65. And if that one breaks, probably 383.15. I don't know if we get all the way up there. If we get all the way up there, it's about a 50-50 risk reward. You don't really have a great odds either way. If we get stalled out somewhere around 380.85, that would probably be your bearish trade. If we could rally a little bit, we'll see. Let's take a look at pins. Pin interest. A little bit of gap down. Was this earnings from them? Yep. Surprise beat to the upside by 9 cents. Surprise beat to the upside by $11 million and gap down. Gap down. Has to be priced for perfection. Yes, there's a little bit of a gap and go. I do like I kind of like the location on it. So I like the fact if you're going to go bearish and play this gap and go, 27.71 is the spot that I don't think it should break. If it starts breaking that, then it's actually going to retest, I think, a little bit higher. So that would be your zone. So the fact that we're below that, I'd put more weight to the downside than anything. Not sure how far we come down, but probably looking at a 27.16 would be the zone that I think we get to. And then if it really starts picking up, I think 26.82 would be final targets on pins. Anything past that, we start to really feel the heat. On a daily chart, it does look a little bit head and shoulders. Right. So if we do that, this would be your neckline, probably somewhere about here. I don't know why my there we go, trend line. Something like this would be your neckline, which makes me believe more that today would be a day that maybe the furthest we go is into this neckline. That takes us right into this zone. Hang out there for a day or two, and then if you want to play it, it could break, retest, and then that's the spot you want to short if that happens. But probably a little bit of support coming in. 27.16, somewhere around there. All right, let's check out Boeing. But yeah, I would say a little bit more bearish than bullish on pins. Boeing with a little bit of a blow off top yesterday, so it started to break out. It was not able to really carry it through. It's moved a lot pretty heavy pretty quickly. Again, this is a tremendous breakout candle. I don't think the buy the dippers are out of the market yet. That being said, I think what we'd have to do is put a fib on this one to see where this retracement actually could get to. I would start it down here. Yeah, I'd probably have to start it down here. It's kind of where the move really started. There's the top of it. So even on a 50% retracement, this is where I think the bulls some bulls will be sitting down at 225.84, and then you'll probably get some more somewhere down at this 221.73 zone. But you definitely did put in a pretty much a blow off top yesterday. I would have to look at this thing as definitely bearish. There's not really a lot of liquidity to hold us back. This so far, I know we only looked at really two so far, but this one might be my favorite as of this second. I'm going to throw this one to the top of the list. If TradingView lets me. Come on, TradingView. There you go, buddy. You got it. This would be a great candidate if we get any type of buying at open to take a short underneath. I kind of like it. Just a quick side note: if you guys are typing and you have host and panels on, if you guys can change it over, just so everybody doesn't think I'm talking to myself. GameStop from Kevin Stone, GME, going full on meme on a Wednesday morning. Okay, let's go. The price is gapping down a little bit, so this would be a retest gap. I do find the meme stocks are going to live in their own universe. It's like you got Marvel, you got DC, and then you got meme stocks. That's its own little universe. So it could do some crazier things. Uh, Again, if we draw a trend line on this one, I'm wondering if we're into a little bit of support or if we're breaking through it. No. So actually, this looks like the support. This was our breakdown candle. This one probably comes lower, but I wouldn't be the first one to short this, as it is a retest gap. So I'd let this thing come back up a little bit, and then maybe a little bit later in the day, see if this thing wants to roll over. But targets to the downside, I'd be looking for maybe $20.88 would be my first stop. My first stop on GameStop, and then $20.54 would be my next one. 2054 I think is very achievable for today. And if the entire market starts to sell and this thing really hits some pressure, 1954 would be a very interesting target if it get there. I don't know that that's going to happen today, but that'd be a good location, at least for a longer term, maybe bounce on GameStop. Again, GameStop fundamentally, you're probably still overvalued in price. GameStop, for just pumping it up is, you're just kind of looking for the squeezes more than anything on GameStop. Dynatrace. I don't know what the volume looks like on this one. Just as I've never day traded this one personally. I think I did a swing trade on this one before. But yeah, you're pulling back a little bit. Technically it is it's gap and go. We definitely put it in a pretty decent double top. I don't like all of this congestion down here. There's a lot of different support spots that we're in. So we're into a little bit of support zone that maybe some of the bulls would not mind taking a stab at DT. So even though this is a gap and go, I'd pretty much need this thing to clear 50.38. So anything below 50.38, I think we have a decent shot to just kind of continue to drop. That drop probably only takes us to about 49.15. But see if this one, I think this one is actually a fadeable gap. We'll see what happens at open. But SDG, it's down a lot though. Solar Edge. Another just absolutely massive gap down on earnings. Did they beat as well? They beat on earnings per share, and then they missed by 2.5 mil on the rev side. Again, this one I think is fadeable northbound and up. See if you get a little more selling though on this one. So again, I don't want to, with a big massive gap like this, it is difficult to play. I do like the support level down here. We had a little bit of a double bottom. This all could be a retest, and this is a massive gap down. So I don't really want to be the first one into it, as you are definitely trapping a lot of bears. This thing has been trending down into earnings as well. So there's also some people to the short side. If I was bullish, I'd probably be looking somewhere down here to buy if I like this company. And if I was bearish all the way down, this would probably be a target for me to at least sell a lot or most of my position. And then even if I didn't want to get all out of this thing, I'd be seeing with a very small position to see if we could break down and kind of break this pivot. So SEDG. All right. Definitely gonna be one to watch. FRSH. Fresh Works. Kind of reminds me of Salad Works. They got I have no idea what they do, but decent little gap up. Technically, it is a gap and go. However, the red candle that we're using for that gap and go was just an inside resting day after a bullish move. We've also trended bullish in this one ahead of time. Let me just see if there's any resistance up here. Kind of, maybe somewhere around 2088. So watch the 2088 zone. If that one starts to break, you might get some more room on this thing. I would even say up to about 2179. Otherwise, this is another big, massive gap on Freshworks. And even though it is a gap and go, I think I would be looking for more of a bearish play. Fade this thing back a little bit. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. The Tessie. There it is, 255.30. Yes. Retest gap. Technically, I like this location a lot. We're below all those VPOCs. We also had a very, very big consolidation in the zone. I think this one could have targets down to 247.63. This is going pretty high on the list as well to take this one short. And again, I like the fact that we did consolidate for a very long time. Maybe took some bulls in some of those days that could be getting trapped, thinking that we could close this gap almost immediately. But I think the pressure is on Tesla to the downside. I don't really see any other spots that could really interfere with or be really a good spot for the bulls to kind of come in, at least until we get to this 247. The only other spot that I would see is 250, which is a psychological whole number. So you probably have a little bit of people like, hey, if I could get it at 250. So that might be difficult. Otherwise, I think we could break it. So 247.63, that's going to go extremely high on the list as well. AMD did report. They did beat by a penny. Like one penny, I think. Yep. And then surprise upside of revenue for about 40 million. The market is taking this one very, very gracefully to the bullish side. Personally, on just that earnings report. So this one is different than a lot of the ones that we've seen. All right, this one, yeah, it had a good run up prior, but that was a long time ago. We've been struggle busting this sideways trade. I am a little concerned in this area and off that move. This is a retest gap. Good volume obviously came in yesterday. I think this one could get some kind of people wanting to take profit, I would think. So if I was going to play this one, it would have to be either bearish to fade this thing down, or at least I know I don't want to go bullish at open for me. So that means if I don't play it, see if we can get a pullback to 117.46. That would be the spot to go, or attempt to go long if we want to. But it does have a little bit of resistance in here. Otherwise, if it starts to break this resistance, the next target would be about 124.29. I think is a very interesting spot for AMD to get to. We are above that 120, so we've already cleared that first little psychological hold number. And we'll see if we can keep on pushing on this one. But I don't want to be the first one to buy it. I'd rather look for the Boeing and Tesla shorts. Because this one will have some kind of bullish catalyst. But I think looking for a fade, or at least waiting for it to get down there and maybe playing that one later in the day, could be interesting. SoFi and Unity Software. SoFi Technologies just had a nice little squeeze. $10.04. Again, this one should be technically, is this inside day? No, it's not inside day, but it is a retest gap. Not quite at a support yet, so this thing could come lower. 978 would be probably the target for today. Maybe if that one breaks, we get to 966. So not too much room. I would, and then to the upside again, you probably don't have much room either. So you're looking for something in here. And target, even if this thing I think really drops, would be here. And we're opening right about here. So again, I don't really have much room on either side. I would have to wait for this thing to just kind of come up, retest, and that would at least give me better risk to reward, give me a little bit more room to run, and then maybe come down a little. But watch where this one closes. This will be an interesting close. If we do not come and retest this gap, this would be an island reversal, which is typically a very strong reversal signal in the market or for the stock. Right? So watch the close. If this thing does not come back, SoFi could be heading a little bit lower going forward on a daily. So that would be an impressive island reversal. All right, Unity Software. Unity. And we could also take a look. I want to take a look at some of the pre-markets on at least the top 3 that we were looking for. Because this market has been unforgiving to slow people. Unity Software, so that one is a little bit of a gap and go. Still just kind of tangled up in here. There's going to be some very good support coming in. I got 3 levels of support. So it is a gap and go. You're not really breaking out of the range. If this thing was opening somewhere around 42, 43, I think we'd have a better opportunity on this one. And that would take us down to like $40.86, something like that. Maybe we'd be looking even for $39.87. So they could be future targets. I just don't see it yet. Otherwise, so I would let this thing chop around. If this thing does want to come back up, 45.27, somewhere in that zone would be a decent short spot. So short that as high as possible. Palantir, PLTR, which has it did finally. I was watching that $20 range like a hawk yesterday. Finally broke through. I think it got to like $20.20, something like that, 22 cents. And we are pulling back. There's obviously a lot of strength in Palantir right now. But this is a gap and go. This could be a fadeable. This one could be very, very shortable. We're going to need the market to cooperate on this one. But otherwise, you're now trapping 2 different days of VPOCs that people were bullish. I don't think this is a massive turnaround for Palantir, and we're back to $7 by the end of the week. I don't think that, but you do have targets down to 1807. So I would say 1807 will be target. What makes this one a little bit more challenging, and there's really nothing in the way for that, except for maybe the lows of yesterday. So 1882, this has bullish sentiment. We're trending bullish. It's been doing some really, really decent pushing in the bullish direction. So if we come back down to this 1882, there's probably going to be some bulls there. I would assume the very low of the day, 1838, there would also be some bulls, and those are chances for some kind of rallies. Otherwise, my target would be about this 1807 zone. So I don't know if it's going to be the easiest short. It looks like it's got a ton of range. I think that would be the way to play this one today, is just go bearish, as we are trapping some bulls after an astonishing run. But I think there's some people still looking to get into Palantir on the pullbacks with the right price. Some people that absolutely just missed the move. Kind of looks like a head and shoulders forming. I forgot what stock that was that we were talking about. Nice gap down on Tesla. Yep, Tesla we looked at. So that would be interesting. Puts will be happy this morning. Everybody gets a day. Everybody gets one day. A good stock is good for the soul. That's got to be GameStop. His nickname is Diamonds Kevin. Carlos says when Fed cuts rates, solar will be better for swing longs. Customers will be use financing for solar builds. I would say, how much time we got? We got 5 minutes. So yeah, I would say that the Fed cutting rates won't have as much effect over the government policies. So where they give discounts, breaks, tax loopholes, A lot of like even for EVs, you can get up to $7,000 if you buy an EV before the end of the year. So different things like that, I think will have big effects. So, and I would assume that whoever wins the upcoming presidential race, I'm not even positive who's actually running at this point, but whoever wins, whichever party, there's going to be one that's more favorable to solar and energy, clean energy, things like that, where you probably see some of those tax breaks and incentives continue. So we'll see. Microsoft MSFT. Gap down. It's a decent gap down. Probably target on this one would be about 330.97. I'm gonna move this one up higher on the list as well. 330.97. Decent gap down. We're still in this big one candle, but that candle was bearish. And if we are breaking out of a pennant pattern, we're still right at the bottom of that pennant pattern. See if this one could get bought up first. That would be a good candidate if we do get a nice screen candle to take a break. We should. The S curve play maybe on AMD. AMD for the daily, it does look a little S curve. Again, we had this wide open gap, so this is us just kind of filling that gap. We are making higher lows. At open though, again, I don't think, especially if the rest of the market is going to be down, do I really want to go bullish on it? Although it does have some bullish momentum today from earnings. It wasn't, they beat. I mean, so there was that, but I don't think it was the most amazing earnings report I've ever seen, but it wasn't bad. BABA does have a little bit of a gap down as well. So this one's gapping down about $2.20. BABA, JD, a lot of the Chinese names that trade more or less on the Hong Kong board, these things tend to gap frequently. So I don't put as much weight behind any of the gaps from something like BABA, JD. There's a bunch of companies that will gap every day. Race would be one of them, I think, too, which is Ferrari, I think. So this one will get gaps quite frequently. You see it more over here. It's being steady, consistent. I think the trend is bullish on this one. I think people might want to try to get into this thing bullish. You do have some support here, 97.22. So while it is a gap and go bearish, I'd be curious to see how we handle this 97.22 zone. That's also where you start to meet the 10 and see if this thing actually rallies back a little bit from here. But otherwise, yeah, little bit of a decent gap down. T-Doc trying to make a comeback. You stop it, Sydney. You stop it. You got to be messing with me now. Now I know. This is how I know. Teledoc, let's see. This was a good breakout candle. This is a retest into some moving averages, into below a little support. Honestly, I think Teledoc comes down lower, but this is the retest gap. I wouldn't go long on this thing at all, most likely ever. But if this thing gets up to like this 27.80, that would be the spot to look to short. AMSC. Quite the little gap we had yesterday. I got a minute left. Well, I didn't get to look at the pre-market. AMSC just kind of opening inside that day range. So look for continuation, but see if this thing pulls back to 1385, 1383 first. All right, let's get the new share. Let me go to TOS. Let me throw up some of those companies we were looking at. I think most of them probably on the list already. We'll see if we can find anything. Everybody out there in YouTube land, I do appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. It is free week. You don't have to actually leave us today. No, you can just come on to reallifetrader.com. You can just fill out the quick little banner and hang out with us all day long. You guys are awesome. Later, guys. Nick wants to look at Netflix and FLX. I think this one was decently bullish yesterday. Let me see where this thing's actually opening on the daily. A little bit of a gap and go. That one has some room. I think to the downside, maybe 426.38. That could be a decent short. And then Tessie is giving us an opportunity, maybe, at least for now. 254.96. We could go higher. 254.98. 254.98. That will have to change. I kind of wanted to take that break right here, to be honest. I'm going to be too slow on it, but 256.07 will be my stop. 256.07. So I got a decent stop if this candle closes red, and then we just got to figure out how to take an entry on it because my original entry is already broken. 247 would be my target. Hector wants to take a look at Googs. Meta had some weird strength yesterday. Very, very odd strength. That one's thrown in a hammer. Google's kind of rallying back a little bit too. Let me see Google on a daily. And then Netflix. I'm going to keep that one up there. That could be interesting as well. GOGL. We'll have to look at NVIDIA too. Yeah, Google's opening at support, so I think that one could still continue to rally. Probably targets price-wise 130.74. If the opening candle on Google does break down, which right now it's just a wide range, so that's gonna be tough for us. We're not gonna get it. It's only 60 cents. That's not bad. Let me see if this one makes sense. We short Google. 129.10. 129.10. Tesla, they're starting to rally it up again. Interesting. 129. We'll go 130. Give it 90 cents. 130. It's probably going to retrace higher first, though. Target, we would need 127.30. That's very doable in terms of targets. We're going to have the 10 on the daily. That's going to be a little interruption to our plan. That comes in at 128.23. But yeah, sentiment would be weaker if this candle breaks. And then Netflix. Man, I could play this either way. Bullish or bearish. 433.34. Right now, stop would be 435.69. If you guys want to play it bullish, probably right above that candle is where you're going to be looking. My personal day trade, NFLX, 433.34 by 435.69. Is it still holding? 433.34. Okay. I gotta wait for this candle to close, but that's what I'm thinking on Netflix. We'll see if it actually lets me take the trade, though. I'll get it set up in the broker just in case. NFLX. Sell shorts. Limits. They're not going to give me the opportunity, huh? And then Tesla is also available still. 253.96. 253.96. And we just see whipsaw back and forth. 256.79. 79. Not letting me take Netflix. Tesla could be interesting. 254.27 now. 4.27. I don't have the Netflix set up. 433.27 now. I gotta wait a candle on that one. I'm gonna take this back to I think pre-market. So 254.74. That's where I wanted to get in. We'll take this one. My personal day trade, Tesla, 254.27 by 256.79. I'm gonna try to get this one in. Paste. Fell short. All right, so I got that one in the broker. We'll see if that one wants to hold for us. And then targets for 2 hours, we need to get to 246.71. We'd be close to that zone, I think. Microsoft looks like a great short. I was not looking at that one. Again, do I also want to go too heavy on short everything too? Not yet. The SPY itself, this is a retest of that pre-market, so somewhere a little bit lower. So if I'm good with one one short for right now, I think. But Microsoft does look decent. AMD is a beautiful looking fade, so that one did give us that nice pre-market level to short. I was too slow on that one. Maybe not too slow on Tesla though. We'll see. JetBlue, kind of hanging out. Roku. What's the other ones? Microsoft, AMD, Boeing. Yeah, Boeing. BA would be another interesting one to short. 235.57. 235.57. 236.72. Maybe. That's probably the play on Boeing. Essentially playing that candle if that is a bull trap. But again, I do have Tesla set up, so I'm going to hold that one for now. And if Tesla wants to give me some more range, and you got the SPY bouncing pretty much where it should. Amazon looks weak. AMZN. Anybody take that Microsoft? I think, John, you were looking at that, right? Yeah, Amazon does look weak. Let me see if we have a target on this one. AMZN. John's in. Yeah, Amazon looks decent too. I'd have to wait for some kind of bounce on that one though. I think I wouldn't mind catching it. Maybe we could throw a limit order 129.58. And with Boeing, I think that's a great short on Boeing. What I'd be afraid of is if this thing comes in S curves with the strength that it's had for the last few days. So I'm seeing if I can get maybe a double top or something like that on Boeing before I set that one up for me. Um, 254.92. So we can come in higher now. I'll just wait. I'll just wait. Just wait it out. And then if Tesla does want to start to rally here, I mean, obviously we have some wicks down here, so there's some interest in buying. Again, SPY is kind of at a key location. If you want to go long on Google, 129.58 would be an okay spot to look. Otherwise, shorting the bottom of the day is probably the play. Market is opening relatively flat still, so we have one little candle to the downside. That kind of rallied back, and we're just hanging out essentially flat so far. So I don't have any direction if the market wants to continue down south or if the buy the dippers are going to step in early today. Apple's diving. Apple's going scuba diving. Scuba Steve. Yep. That one still got the support 193.17 from pre-market. So you're kind of getting a little close to that. I might get to adjust this Tesla. Let me see something real quick. Google's breaking. Yep, Google starting to come down. Netflix looks decent too. The only one I got set up right now is Tesla, and that one's still holding. 254.93. 254.93. $2.52. 256. 57. All right, Tesla's gonna be a cancel. I was trying to redesign that one to make it a little bit better, but I'm gonna cancel Tessie. The only one that did not want to do it. Okay. Cancel for now. Let me throw that in Slack. Cancel Tesla. Let's see, Putin. Or Opps again. So Putin's looking to go long on it, playing for that fade. Okay. And then Boeing. So that one did dip. So that was a decent one. Again, this is what I'm a little bit terrified of for all shorts right now, is where the SPY location is. And Google did break a new low. That looks a little trappish for bears. SPY is trying to fight back here. Have you told me how I feel about Tesla? Yeah, once or twice. Maybe just once or twice though. And it was like briefly mixed in with like another conversation. It's like, man, the weather out here is good. By the way, I don't like Tesla, and then maybe it's gonna rain later today. I'm not sure. It's kind of blended together. So buy the dip again. Why aren't we crushing lower? We're still strong. Still a strong market. And let's, like I said too, we're at a little bit of support, I think. Yeah. Let's go back to this chart real quick. So we talked about this right at the beginning of the day. We know that if this candle starts to break down, we probably end up coming a little bit lower. So while this is a gap and go, overall, you are still at the bottom of the candle. Look where they bounce this thing. Right at the opening of that candle. So again, trading is not whether something has to go up, has to go down. It's all about risk reward. So even if you're looking at this gap today and you're like, man, this thing is definitely looks bearish. There's traders out there that are going to look at this thing and go, okay, well, here's your opening. That's the candle I know that if we start breaking there, we're just dead. We're going to lose. But if I'm going to risk in R here, I have a lot of room if this thing does want to come back up for the retest instead. So if it doesn't break here, then this is a buy spot. Yeah, Richie's long on Tessie. I did see that. So in a weird way, it's a bearish, but and we know that the buy the dippers are not shy. Richie's the buy the dipper today. It's okay. All right. But it does make going bullish tough, because you're like, man, everything is getting like we should be trapping some bulls. But again, you still have that little bit of risk to reward. If that candle doesn't break, then that's the spot to go long. Market will pull back till the big boys have their earnings. Yeah, we still got Apple on the table. That was a nice fade on AMD. NVIDIA, let me see targets on NVIDIA again. NVDA. So again, you have a little bit of support here where we just got that bounce. So if we're gonna go bullish on it, you got the 10 EMA on a daily, plus there's a lot of resistance above you to the downside. You got that one little resistance, and then probably 447.73. Google could be fun. 129.21. 129.21. This is gonna be a trick day, huh? 129.62. That Boeing was fantastic. So I wasn't worried about an S curve coming. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles in a row. This one would be a bull trap. It's already past where I was trying to get in, 120, or where I wanted to get in. So we'll see if we can wait for a green candle come in first. DraftKings, DKNG. That looks interesting. DraftKings on the daily look like DKNG. That could be a buy opportunity. Every day is a buy opportunity on DraftKings, though. 30.75. 30.75. 30.40. 31.45. Is that possible? We would need a lot. Make sure that's 2 hours. That's 2 hours. 2 hours is 31.45. If we were to get there, that's a lot. Can't take it. But I like that double bottom breakout. You do have a nice little bear trap, so I just cannot take it from me. And the market again, just flat. Done. The market did nothing. And then we got NVIDIA. NVDA. We got a little support down there. Man, I kind of like NVIDIA too, but terrified about the ranges. This would be, if we were to go bullish, 454.38, 454.38. Let's say that's the low of the day. Not sure that it is. 451.17. 451.17. I would need 460.80. I would need essentially a miracle. 451.97. Let's see if I want to take it the other way. 451.97. 454.98. 445.95. Something's wrong. Oh, 445. I don't know if I could hit 2 hours to the downside either, to be honest. That's probably how I would have to play it, though. And Google, maybe Google could give us a setup here. right at that buy spot, man. This market would have to fall apart. 129.07. 129.61. 62 is fine. Okay. My personal day trade, GOOGL. 129.07 by 129.62. Let's see if this one wants to break for us or not. Pastes. GOOGL. Limits. 129.07, 129.07. You got some SPY puts. Yeah, if this market wants to come down, that's gonna look good. But you gotta break through that big bearish engulfing candle. And again, we'll see if Google wants to behave for us or not. So the other thing I could do, and I don't know if I want to, unless we saw some more volume come into this, then maybe taking the break of that candle. Dear bad guys. Google's gonna be a quick cancel. I'll see how this candle wants to close before we cancel it. But man, oh man. Tessie looks strong. Google still looks decent. Even a 618 on this, that would take us to about here. So yeah, I'd want to see another close below this 129.57. Otherwise, this is canceled. Jeff is in the house. What's up, Jeff? And we wait. And we wait. I'm glad I'm not really getting triggered into anything yet, to be honest. This market is just sideways. Trap the bulls, trap the bears. Maybe we trap the bulls again. We'll see. Boeing was the one just playing that candle. That was a good call if somebody took it. The deers aren't trapped. Oh yeah, at this point I don't know who's trapped anymore. Just everybody's trapped except for deers. DraftKings saying what's Square doing? SQ. Are they really going to try to fill me on this massive candle down? That would be interesting. That seems like I'd be getting trapped really quick. Another inside candle just closed on the SPY. Okay. Let me see if I could adjust this Google trade. I don't know if I want to. $129.77. See if we change that stop. 129.07 by 129.79. This is actually a good location to get in, so I don't mind throwing my stop up there. To 129.77. Okay. I'm gonna update that. Update to Google, and we're kind of just trading sideways. So it's like we need to break down. Otherwise, essentially, even Google with this little mini S curve, we haven't really broken out higher or lower. You know what? I'm canceling Google. I'm gonna cancel Google. Let me throw that in Slack. Cancel Googs. We've been in this range all day, so I need something with momentum. And again, we could guess which side this thing wants to break, but I'm not getting any of that information from the market. Interesting candle on the vids though. 452.87. By 450.60. My personal, I'm not gonna be quick enough. Personal day trade. NVDA 452.87 by 450.60. Throw this out into the universe. NVDA. Stop limit. 452.87, 452.87. But it's a bear gap and go. I didn't say I was going to win on it, Hector. Just said I said it looks interesting. That's all. Oh yeah, it's obviously a loss about to come in. I like the high wave, so there's a lot I don't like on this trade whatsoever. So one, we are below 10, we're below the VWAP. All of that looks pretty horrible. Like you said, bear gap and go. But there's your volume, there's your high wave. You did have a little tiny little bit of a bear trap on this thing. So multiple questions that I would have on this trade, to be honest, would be, can we break through this? Is this going to be a rally straight higher? I just got filled, so Godspeed. I'm in this thing. Let me get my stops out because I think I'll probably need them. Look at that Boeing candle. I don't know. News come out? I don't know. Don't be so triggered there, Rock. Don't be so triggered. Trade. Stop. 450.60. All right, targets. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see on the vids. I might just go for a 1.2 on this one, but let's see. I think if this thing rallies, we can make it to the high day, 458.20. Where's the 1.2? 455.59. I'm gonna go for 1.2. I'm just gonna try to grab that. Target is 455.59. Let's see. We got some work to do on this one for sure. Yep, Tesla's definitely going up. Please look at AURC. AURC. Watch the volume on this one. This is very, very light volume. Probably the spread's not bad, but it is very, very light volume. You're even getting gaps throughout here, so be careful on this one if you're in it. But yeah, that is quite the move from $33.50 to $52 for sure. All right, so Nvidia, we'll see if this one wants to hold. Typically, there's your first breakdown. This is not typically where I like to get in, but that candle with that volume was interesting, so had to take it. Boeing had a nice little pop, and that was a bull trap as well. And Google's trying. What is AMD doing? AMD is still selling. That gave it all right back. And again, vice versa. If we want to go short NVIDIA, you could always flip this thing 451.36. SPY, not so successful getting through that VWAP either. Google is starting to make that break higher. We'll see if that could break new highs of the day. And then again, Tesla, the engine that could, the electric engine that could, just keeps on running. Ron says I made 1.3 on Boeing. Nice. Did you play that candle? Kind of what we were talking about. That little reverse, beautiful looking candle. It's essentially what I'm hoping the NVIDIA is, but NVIDIA will have a little bit of struggle bus ahead of it. So it's got to break and do it pretty soon. But our stop is at 460. We do have the opportunity to move that one a little bit higher. And I'm going to take that opportunity, actually. 451.02 is going to be my stop. So 451.02. This way, if we lose small on it. What did I say? 451.02. Yep. Because essentially I'm playing this candle, and we gave a little extra cushion on that just in case, but we'll see if they want to see if this thing could rally up. It'd be nice if AMD, I think, could rally too. I don't know where that one's going to stop. And the SPY again, we were talking about this. They're giving us all just inside candle. We haven't done nothing except for one little bull trap out of the gate on the SPY. Otherwise, we're sitting really, really flat for the overall direction. Puts dying, yeah. Yeah, puts and calls. If it expires today and it's a daily, it's not going to look good. That says that's why I'm in. It gives you time to really, drink a cup of coffee, read the newspaper, if they still make newspapers. Look at that trap that came in on Boeing. That was wild. We need a little bit more love on this NVIDIA. Be great. We get another little pop. So we rejected the 10 once. And again, Google, and I also wouldn't be shocked if this thing comes down, stops us out one last time, and then just rallies from there if this thing's going to go. But we'll see. Google breaking out. Again, we probably have about half our risk on the table. All right, let's see what else we got. Netflix has an interesting hammer. That one kind of looks a little like Google. And SPY is just still not responding to anything. It's not dropping like a rock either, though, so I guess that's good. At least the SPY doesn't look like AMD. Put on deodorant. Yeah, it gives, makes the day out of it. Come on, Nvidia. Get a little bull love. Stay within the high wave. Tesla's pulling back a little bit, just into the 10 though, and that one had some very peculiar strength. And then AMD also has an opportunity on it too. The only thing is with this one, I mean, we haven't had any bounce whatsoever. I guess Nvidia would be the same. Not really any bounce. We tried to bounce at least on Nvidia. We only had one candle there, but otherwise good volume on AMD. That last candle, nice little hammer. I think that one's going to be a little trappy. Here comes Boeing again. Does Boeing want to hold? Don't know. And Netflix could be a setup. If I want to go bullish, though, I don't know. Like I said, we're already attempting a bullish move on Nvidia, but let's see Netflix real quick. Is it at least at any type of support? Not really. No, not really. This could be an S curve to the downside. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the SPY here. We've been here before already on the SPY. So this is either going to break through and Hector will be happy, or this is a double bottom location and then we'll be happy with the probably anything bullish at that point. But yeah, Netflix kind of came back. No, you got some volume on Google. Yeah, it has some weird strength. Am I still in, or did I get stopped on the vids? Nope, still open. Still open, but it doesn't look like they're holding this. And this is also a good spot for the traps to come in for the bears too. So any bears coming in, we'll see what the candle close on this one's important. All right, so I just got stopped out of that one. The high volume, not enough to get it back past the 10. Again, we'll see where this candle wants to close. Yep, so stopped on, and again, it was about half our loss. I'll take those all day. Stopped on Nvidia. Jeremy is looking to go, trying to buy me some Tesla. So Jeremy's looking for this pullback. Let's see his entry. I'll share this chart because some of you guys don't have Slack. Let me put this one in the chat pane. But this is what Jeremy's looking at for Tessie. I do agree. It's got some wild strength to it today. Let me see if I want to piggyback that trade. You're at the 50% now, so he's looking to buy it at, looks like 258.85. And his stop is essentially the low of the day. So this is the 618. Is it 256? He might have 256. Yeah, he's got 256.85. So, okay. SPY short target 451.50. Honestly, 451.58 is what I got, which would just be the low of that bearish engulfing candle. Not really a spot for any volume, nothing like that. I think you could probably get to 450.76. But the only thing that might stop it would just be the low of that. Kyle's shorting Tesla, also short on the vids. Both of those probably looking pretty decent. Watch the spot, the 618. So it's getting a little love right here. If it's getting S curve, this should be the spot. Again, it was kind of a weak open. It's got some weird negative pressure to it. AMD just keeps on selling. But yeah, having some kind of order here, and then I agree with Jeremy's stop as well. So if Tesla does want to rally, this should be it. And SPY, that was a very weak close on the SPY candle, so that did not turn into any type of trap or anything like that. I think the low of pre-market is still sitting at 451. So that was, we've already hit the low of that candle pre-market. Yeah, AMD, not even, you legitimately have one green candle on a 3-minute. That not only retested, that one just kept on going. That's such an overachiever. All right. And then Boeing, I mean, even if I took that candle, I'd probably have my if I was not so aggressive, 236.04, maybe I would have been saved. Otherwise, this just stopped out every single person who had stops. This is a stop hunting candle. This is a 1, 2, 3. This could be 4, 5 bullish, maybe 233.98. Got the market coming down. I think Boeing still has a lot more room to the downside. Let me just double check though. There's nothing really holding Boeing. Do I continue to go short things? 233.26. I think that wave count's kind of in. 233.10. 235.19. To get to 228.92. And I think that's not great risk reward. All right, gonna keep on waiting. Yeah, AURC just does $10 moves on candles, on gaps, intraday gaps. MSFT. We're looking for that short too. John Axe is just cranking in the R's today on Microsoft. That one looks fantastic. And then Google again had some weird strength to it. And I would like to see a Tesla bounce. Give me like a double top or something. Otherwise, it's straight up, straight down. But right now, it is starting to break that 618. AMT's going to 0. I got out of my right before the day closed yesterday on AMD. I bought back the puts. I was up like 70% on the sold puts, so I was like, let me just take some gains here before the earnings come out. So at open, it would have been good. Now, I don't even know. Should have stayed in that day short on Tesla from yesterday. Yeah, just Rule 1, hold every day trade overnight. Rule 2, prepare your resume for careerbuilder.com. It's nice when it works out. And Adam, you have no idea. You have no idea how many trades like I'll take. I'm like, all right, come on, go, go, go. And then you get stopped. And then the next day it's like perfectly at your like crazy target you were trying to think of the day before. And you're like, oh, okay. Like all the time. All the time. Yep, stick to the plan. Problem is algos wouldn't have moved the way they did if you were short. Yeah, no, absolutely. Uh-huh. They tend to free up the move after everyone's out. Would I be crazy to sell some puts on AMD at 95? So that was the strike that I had was 95, and I was getting some decent money on it. I think I was over a dollar actually. I think I was getting like a buck 30, something crazy. I wouldn't do it yet though. I'd wait. The daily candle on AMD today is scary, like terrifying. Yeah, I don't know where this thing closes. With the candle that looks like that today, I'd wait for the actual stock price to start hitting like the 110.50s before I'd even consider. So you have a little bit more ways to go. Um, and even like this 108.48, if we get down there, then maybe. Look at that third straight up, straight. Yeah, I know. Hey, yay. Bowen's kind of holding flat again. I kind of wanted to go short Netflix too. Just the candle would not give me the close. So say la vie to that one. You got Microsoft. Again, that's a lot of selling. You do have a nice volume candle that just came in, hammer-ish. Do we try Tesla? I'm terrified. Absolutely terrified. 256.18. 253.86. 86. It's a high wave at the 618. I don't like that close on Tesla though. All right, I'm gonna try for my personal day trade Tesla. 256.18 by 253.86. Copy. Trying that one for me. We'll see. So Jeremy likes it. I'm indifferent. I would have liked it a lot better if that 618 held. But you got some volume on that candle. The highway, we'd be getting in above the 618. And again, stops are low of the day. So if this thing wants to rally down, you got some volume coming in on a hammer candle and a SPY right now. Oh, Rock, you gonna take it too? You sure? We'll see. So this is the 618. So this is what I'm concerned about. Usually after a candle breaks at 618, that becomes your next kind of resistance. So far we got up there, we retested it, we got rejected, but not filled yet. So we'll see. And I think if we my plan on this one is to lose less than an hour. I don't know if the market's going to let me do it or not, but if I can get triggered here, right now my stop is down here. I'm going to try to get that stop underneath that candle as quick as humanly possible. So just so you guys know, there will probably be some type of a quick update, and I might most likely lose on this trade. But again, you got your volume candle, you got your high wave, and between two trades, if I do lose on this one and they let me move my stops up, I'll still probably be at about an R loss, maybe less still. But just trying to battle the market where I could get it. There was that strength in Tesla. I don't know if I'm buying that this is actually a legit strength. Greg says, yo, it's not you, Greg. It's not you. Don't worry. It's not you. Cameron, maybe. It might be Cameron, not sure. No. No, this is a wild week. This is it's going to be very difficult to navigate every trade as long as that we're in this big high wave candle on the SPY. We've gone up astonishingly crazy in 2023. Hardly really any pullbacks. All-time high for the year is still on the table. Like that's still a potential possibility, which I don't think anybody January 1st would even consider. Like, yeah, we're probably going to hit all-time highs. So now the question is are we going to pull back at all first? You can't ignore the yield curve, inverted yield curve that came last July. Usually that has been one of the most reliable predictors of a recession. And that usually comes anywhere from 12 to 18 months out. It happened last July. So we are officially past 12 months. That means if the recession is going to come, we're probably looking at the next 5 months. We could get some serious selling. It's inevitable. JP Morgan said. I take what JP Morgan says with a grain of salt. I tend to find that they've already made some predictions and already adjusted some positions before their statements come out. And then people do listen to JP Morgan. And then therefore JP Morgan does pretty well. Bear's been getting killed ever since. Yeah, I know. Well, so Kramer is opposite day though. Yeah, if Kramer says it, you typically just go opposite. I like Jim Kramer. I think he's a fun guy. And I would he has a tough job. I'll say he's got a tough job because he's going to get criticized for every trade he makes. And a lot of it, I would say, probably not actually his fault. Like, you can look at a good company, and then he has a lot of weight in the market. Like there's millions of people that will watch him, listen to him, and then therefore a lot of the stocks get a little crazy. So we're still holding up this high wave again. I don't know if the trade's going to work or not. Not in it yet. Greg, are you in this one? Did you take this one, Greg? Rating analysts are very useful for hedge funds. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, time's ticking on the recession if it's actually going to come or not. And I let me know if we get filled on this Tesla trade too. But I've been looking at this one for a while. This is why I've been absolutely completely bullish on these markets. Let me see. Was it the weekly or the monthly? I think it was the monthly. Like we talked about the wave counts, I think Monday. Right. But again, just the theory that everything moves in kind of 5 waves. Is it the monthly? I'm trying to see where the best picture was on it. We're getting into a little bit of a double top. Let me look at the weekly. I think it was better on the weekly. Let me see. Yep. So I was looking at this thing and I'm like, this could be easily wave 1, wave 2. this entire move that we had could be that wave 3. And so there's a lot of people freaking out. Like, I mean, everybody's like recession, recession, recession. I'm like, yeah, but we didn't really put in that wave 4 yet. So this I think was just kind of wave 4. And this bullish move, I think this could be a wave 5. Uh Usually after that doesn't have to happen, but usually after a wave 5, there's some kind of consolidation. And this one still can break out. This one still can make new higher highs. Wave 5 could get weird. You don't know if it's going to be a lower high. You don't know if it's going to be just a pure double top, a lower high. Wave 5 could act a little weird, right? But this, to me, I think we're on wave 5. We can still get that consolidation, which is going to make day trading probably a little bit not fun. But then this move here, if this entire thing was just one big massive wave count, and we do have a recession on the table, we're probably going to get kind of close to it. Looks like I just got filled on the Tesla. I just saw a little notification pop up. Let me get the stop in place real quick. And then Scott wants to argue about my wave count. So let's talk about that. We'll see. Hold on one second. Let me just get my stop in. Stop. That's not even the right stock. There we go. And we got stops at 253.86, I think. And again, if I could move it rather quickly, if we get any type of pop or something fun, that'd be cool. Your wave 2 exceeds the low of your wave 1. No, that's not a rule violation. That could happen. It's not typical, but you can have wave. This wave can come below it. Terry says 100% rule violation. I don't know. I don't think so. But even if you go with this, so all right, you guys want to tell me rule violations? All right, so you don't want to go with this one? You don't like that one as my wave 1? All right, we'll go back further. Now rules back in place. Gotcha. let's go back to that monthly then. All right, you guys want to monthly. So let's start with this one then, just so we don't get even this rule violation. I mean, if you're looking at this thing on a monthly chart, that was a trap candle. That was a trap candle. So we actually got the closes all within it, not closing below it, but we did come down here. I've seen wave 2 break below wave 1. Same thing on the downtrend. I've seen it a few times, but to me, I mean, this is our biggest wave that I'm looking at. And even if, okay, let's go with, I'm completely wrong on this wave count. Let's go with that. Let's go with that crazy theory that I could be wrong about anything. This would be, this one would be, let's say this is our big wave then, right? That would be 3. This is your 4. This is your 5. That would make this your 2. This your 1. Somewhere in that zone. Then you're telling me that this is all your ABC. Either way, then, if this is our ABC consolidation, and I would think that we will get a massive pullback if this candle breaks. Right. So if that's your ABC entry down there, you're gonna have your stops up here again, wide range. But that still puts us at like the ozone of maybe. I think that this, for me, I think I would put 4 or 5, see if there's some chop up here, and then we start to break down. And then this would be your 3, 2, and I think even go there as 1. I could see that being a little bit of a wave count. I don't know. Elliott jail. It's a good thing that, you know, you could commit Elliott wave crimes and they just let you out of jail next day. I promise I'll go back to court. I promise. But yeah, so that's what I was looking at. I was like, man, this thing, I don't know. I think we could continue to get this rally. But now that we're at this double top, and I think some sentiment might be changing a little bit. So I think if it's going to come, it's got to be kind of quick. Probably within the next 5 months. That would, unless which I don't subscribe to this at all. Where like this time is different. this time it's different. The bonds have been usually pretty consistent, accurate, and it's usually as soon as you go, yeah, but this time is different, that's when the trouble comes, because it never usually is. Can you please give me Jeremy? Yeah, just their name at reallifetrading.com. I'm gonna throw my stops up. Man, this is gonna be wave. So Matt at reallifetrading.com and Jeremy at reallifetrading.com. Retested the highs. Yeah, I don't want this to be a trap candle. I kind of want to get my stops up to where we were talking about. But this could also be now double bottom, first rejection off of there. I have to wait if this candle looks trappish. I'm going to be more patient than I thought I was going to be. Isn't it called Elliott wave theory? Yes. Why did I call it something different? Emphasis on theory. Nah, it's law. That is law. I'll give it that. It's mandatory. Everything there's no such thing as V bottoms ever. I saw them on Kramer the other day. Bollinger Bands. With a grain of salt, probably. So Jim Cramer's talking about Bollinger Bands. I didn't even know he got into the technicals. That's wild. So Bollinger Bands are, they're supposed to give you a range, right? Let's say you're scalping, right? Let's say you're scalping. I'll tell you how you should actually use it, but this is what people will think, at least. So let's say I want to play, I want to play Google to the downside. Somewhere as close as possible to that VWAP, if you get in there, great. And then if you're on a scalping sentiment, they're telling you that that's kind of the range. And you could be looking to shave some profits, take all your profits, whatever case, into that. The problem with Bollinger Bands is they'll move. So they will widen out throughout the day based on volatility. And they'll also kind of condense based on volatility. That's one way that scalpers will use Bollinger Bands. For me, and the other thing that they're measuring is kind of the volatility, like I said, volatility. So some people will use those as targets, but if this is just trading bullish, then the Bollinger Band is going to move higher, right? So I don't know how accurate that would be. Otherwise, the wider the range, and this is where I'll personally use it a lot. So the wider those Bollinger Bands means that the more kind of volatility you have. And then the tighter the Bollinger Bands are, that means there's not that much volatility. I like it when it's tight because that's going to give you your setup, right? That means that you're just kind of building pressure one way or the other if those Bollinger Bands are sitting relatively tight to the stock. And then once you get your break, it's kind of like, okay, we built up a lot of energy and you break out in one direction or the other. I'll use it with the TTM squeeze a lot. The other thing too is if you have stocks that are closing, I don't see any on my chart right now, but if you have stocks that are closing like below the Bollinger Band, that typically means that it's a little bit more weak than not, if it's obviously moving down, and therefore you probably get some continued runs. So I like good candles that close above Bollinger Bands. That means there's definitely bullish in sentiment, or if it's running bullish, that would be bullish sentiment, and then push it higher. But yeah, the squeeze, for like a TTM squeeze, there's something called the Kettner channels. Honestly, I don't even know what the Kettner channels do, but I know for the TTM, they're used Kettner channels and Bollinger Bands. So you have the channels, and then you have the Bollinger Bands inside those channels. We have some time. Should we cover TTM squeeze? Should we talk about that? Because that's fun. I think we will. I think we're going to talk about some squeezes real quick. Good morning, Dan. Do you have recording on 13 cross 30 EMA? You talking about like the Golden Cross? Or are you talking about something that we talked about in the free week? I'm not sure if we have a video on that. If not, we'll make one. I'm trying to think if we could do it this week at all. I don't know that we have. I don't know that we talk too much about the cross. I'll have to ask Jeremy. I'll find out though. And if we don't have one, we can make one for sure. I don't even think I threw out targets for Tessie, so let me just see that one real quick. 263.14 would be 2 R's. Let me see if I want to hang in that long. 263. Let me see Tesla. I don't know. Let me see. 263. And I kind of want to be out. The breaks. What's the SPY doing? Tesla's not really following the SPY at all today. I would love to stay in there for a 2 hour trade. If we could get a 1.2, that's 258.96. That's a beautiful looking S curve. Is it going to double top? It is a retest gap. I'm going to go for the 1.2 on this one. So my target is 258.96, 258.96. And I will move my stop on Tesla at this point. So 254.93. And new stop for me. What did I say? 254.93. And let me update that in the broker. We'll talk about some TTM squeezes. That's a fun topic. Change 254.93. And we'll see if Ceci really does get some additional momentum today. All right. Tesla's your favorite stock. All right, how many guys trade options? Type a quick one if you like to trade options. Okay. Okay. Type a quick 2 if you've never traded options before in your life. All right, beautiful. Glenn just raised his hand. So I don't know if you have a question, but you could ask it. All right. So TTM squeeze, you don't have to use it for options. What was the last one I just did? I think it was snow, I believe. See if we can pull up snow. And we'll go to the daily charts. Let me know if we hit like target. I'll keep it on my other screen. Keep Tessie up. $254, good. We got VPOC on the way. Good. And then we're trying to get to 258, 93, I believe, 96. And the new stop is 204 or something. Okay. Just so I could watch it as we go over this. Nancy says, I don't have the ability to short, so any bear positions, I need to buy puts. Why don't you have the ability to short? Is it some kind of retirement account? So essentially what the TTM squeeze is, every broker should have it. Oh, you don't have margin? I think you can't short if you don't have margin. No, I think you do need margin for shorting. Yep, I think you're right. So with the TTM squeeze, every platform should have it. I know TradingView does, TOS does. I think most of them will. So this is TOS, obviously, Thinkorswim. Basically, like we said, there's the Kettner channels and then the Bollinger Bands. Once the Bollinger Bands are inside the channels, that would indicate the red dot. So you don't really have to even have that on your screen. You could just have the TTM, right? So in a normal, meaning that we're not squeezing, everything is normal on the stock, you'll see those green dots at the bottom, right? But once the Bollinger Bands move into the channels, you'll see those red dots, right? That means that during this time frame, you're building pressure. And there's also the TTM squeeze and perfect TTM squeeze. I really only play the perfect one, but you could use it how you want to. So with those red dots, we know that we're building pressure, right? So essentially there's some kind of just back, forth, trading sideways, consolidating. And that means there's going to be, usually once you get the break, there's a break for a decent amount of run one way or the other, right? Now the question is, well, which way is it going to run? That's where you have this oscillator come in, right? This is telling you momentum. So as you're in this, I guess, light bluish, whatever color, that's telling you that momentum here is bullish. So you're oscillating up. And then once it starts to flip for the dark blue, and you guys can change the colors to whatever you want, but once that starts to switch, that means momentum during that time frame is changing, right? Same thing down here. Now we went from that dark blue into the red. So we have all that momentum is still bearish until I see that light yellow come in. Now that's telling me, okay, number one, over here, will we in a squeeze? No, so I can't play it. Here, do we have the red dots? Yes. So that's step one, right? Step one for a perfect TTM squeeze is the fact that we do have red dots, right? So that means we are squeezing. Then number two, well, is the oscillator pushing bullish or bearish for us? So right now we're still bearish. Then on this candle right here, we start to go bullish, right? So we have the oscillator kind of changing. So we'll call it Momo is starting to change in the favor that we want to go. This case, it would be bullish, right? We're seeing that the sentiment is starting to change in the stocks, and that would be somewhere right around here. Now, the other thing with this is where is your moving averages at, right? And for this one, for the perfect TTM squeeze. So this alone is your TTM squeeze indicator, telling you that you're about to make a break, most likely heading toward the bullish sentiment as opposed to the bearish. SPY is really starting to jump now. But here's your moving averages that you would use for it. This one is the 21. The yellow one here is your 9. So you have the 9, the 21. This one is the 34. And then this one's the 89. right? Yep, SPY is breaking below. So on this one, uh, for a perfect TTM squeeze, you want to be stacked correctly, right? So you want your 9 to be above your 21. You want your 21 to be above your 34. You want your 34 to be above your 89. This tells us that on different time frames, you're actually more bullish than bearish, right? If you're just chopping around, you have mixed signals everywhere, all in different time frames, you're just kind of just chopping, right? So for a perfect TTM squeeze, you want to be perfectly stacked. You want those red dots and you want momentum to start coming into your side. Now, the reason I asked for who likes to trade options or never traded options before, it's a very easy indicator where you don't even have to know much about options to be able to take a play. Because what happens with options for very basic level, once something is moving and there's volatility and it's going crazy, there's a lot of extra premium. So all those options become more expensive, right? If your house is already on fire and you don't have insurance and you go to buy insurance for fire insurance on your house, they're like, well, your house is currently burning, so we're going to have to charge you a lot of money. But if your house looks good, there's no fire, there's no nothing, and you're like, hey, this is my just in case insurance. In case a fire breaks out, they'll say, okay, well, the likelihood of you having a house fire probably kind of low, so you'll get a good deal on the insurance. Same thing with options. Once the stock already breaks, the premium goes up, right? And those all those options become more and more expensive. During this chop time, well, there's not really any excitement in the stock. So you're able to buy your calls and puts when things are just trading sideways and choppy because nobody really wants those options, right? They're like, well, it's not doing anything. I just don't want to buy options. And then theta comes in and kills all my premium, right? Because the longer you have those options, the more they just start to decay. But if you're in on this, if you see this setup, that means it's probably about to break soon. Momentum is shifted. You know you're squeezing tight. So you're essentially buying those options when nobody else wants them. You're getting a good deal on it. Then once the options start to break in that direction, your premiums on those options skyrocket because now you're already holding what everybody else wants. Yeah, my latest stop on Tesla is 254.93. $254.93. Otherwise, I haven't moved it after that point. I'm hoping this is like double bottom on Tesla and we start to rise out. All right. So that's giving you your options. It allows you to buy your options, and then once it breaks out, that's when you see like 100% gains, 200% gains, 300% gains, like crazy stuff. So do you have to do it with options? No. Typically, the options that you want to buy, well, first of all, you want to buy it when your stock is at the 21 EMA, right? So even if this thing breaks, as it comes back into the 21, that's where you want to buy those options. And then you're usually getting, if you're basing this off of a daily chart, you're going about 2 months out on those options for expiration, right? So just very easy guidelines of what to buy, when to buy, especially if you see the perfect TTM with those moving averages lining up, right? That has a fairly high success ratio. I think it's something like 80 to 85% win ratio. Like it's a very, very high win ratio. And again, once those things do break, you're getting those premiums jacked up, and you're starting. You already have what other people want because they go, oh great, I guess the market made its decision and we're going to start breaking out. So on this move alone, I mean, this one, if you were to buy it, you're getting somewhere about 172, 173, somewhere in that price range. And you made a nice little push up to, I can't even see because I got the Zoom thing, 192. So you made about a $25 move on something like this. You're typically supposed to hold it for after it turns green for about 6 to 8 candles, roughly about 8 candles. So that'd be 8 days after, and then you're looking to get rid of those options. So that was the one I did recently. There's been a lot more. I think Netflix was a crazy one that I took, NFLX, but this was a while ago. So let me see where this this one came in. So here's another TTM squeeze, right? That fits the protocol. This one wasn't a perfect one until here on this pullback, right at that 21. So here's your squeeze over here, right? So we have regular normal green dots, nothing crazy. You're chopping sideways. You're not buying those options yet. Then you start to get into the squeeze zone, right? Right in here somewhere. You got the momentum shifting. And then the only thing that's not really lined up for a perfect is your moving averages. But it breaks, it pulls back, comes right into that 21 EMA. So this is the day I was buying some Netflix calls. And then I think I sold it probably early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So somewhere around these candles right here. Right. That was a move from, I think, 330, we'll call it, to somewhere in the 390s. So $70 move. And if you have options, $70 moves. By the way, your strike price is usually about 1 or 2 out of the money. Yep. Yeah. Now, I knew someone was going to ask it because I was like, well, I didn't mention that. Yeah. I usually take about 1 or 2 out of the money. Right. But that's massive move. AMD had a really nice one that I played too. This one, by the way, again, I mean, if you play it with shares, great. I mean, you made a nice little bag of cash. But if you play it with options, because now the market's like, okay, I guess the direction is going to be bullish, so now everybody wants to jump in bullish, but you've already gotten those at a good deal. Let's see, AMD. Where's the one that I played on AMD? I think I have to go back further, maybe. This is the yearly. Let me change this time frame. Daily. I think it was somewhere over. I forget where I played the AMD one. You'll see the TTM squeeze a lot come up, but the perfect TTM squeeze, they're a lot more difficult to find. So you have to have patience and wait. I think it was this one. Yeah, I think I played it from this move. So I had momentum coming in. We had the red dots. No, I didn't play this one. This one I did not play. This one was decent. Snow had a bunch of them. I played a bunch of times there. Where were you? It wasn't all the way back there. I don't know. There was, unless I was looking at the weekly. I might have been taking that one on the weekly. Yep, there we go. Okay. That's the one. That's the one I played. So again, the weekly go further out in time. I think there's a 4-month one, just because it's a longer time frame. But on the daily, you're going about 2 months out. But here's your time where we got in on a weekly basis. The longer the time frame, the stronger the move. All right, we start having that momentum start to shift bullish into it. And then right around this zone is the 21. And that got us from about $85, and that had a straight run up to 164. I didn't hold it to 164. I sold it probably somewhere in this zone. So not holding it for too long. I didn't capture the full move, but I still made, that was about a $30 move, $40 move on AMD from the squeeze. So I like it, but yeah, so you can use the Bollinger Bands. I know they're kind of built into the TTM squeeze on that. Where's my daily chart again? There it is. All right, let's check out Tesla. Still in on Tesla, so nothing happened. There's, I forgot what stock it was, but there was one, and maybe, I don't know if it was AMD, but it was, typically I'll play the daily, but if you see it on a weekly chart, I mean, I think the SPY had one on a weekly chart right before the Yeah, if you see it on the weekly chart, that's just a longer time frame of more momentum. Um, SPY weekly. This one wouldn't be my favorite. No, we have to go back further. I'm gonna go more than 3 years. Let's go 10 years. It's either headed on the daily or the weekly. Forget where it was. But I was looking at this thing going, okay. So this one wouldn't be a perfect one. Well, there is no squeeze in this zone. We add a little squeeze there, so nothing crazy. Here's one on the weekly. But again, that one's not perfect. And this one, again, momentum did change. It's not perfect. Those moving averages are kind of tangled together, so that's not one. Maybe it was the daily. There was a really, there we go. There's the SPY. Right. So here you have the momentum coming in here, right? Momentum's coming in. You're not in any type of squeeze yet in this time frame, which would relate to somewhere about here in this zone. That's your perfect squeeze, right? You at this point, you have your moving averages start to line up a little bit. You have your squeeze down here, you got momentum, and then SPY just took off and ran from there. Right. So in this time frame, people didn't know what to do, it was just a little back and forth. The world's ending. No, it's not. Yes, it is. And then eventually, once you got the break, that's where the SPY just kind of took off and nonstop ran. But that's the TTM. Am I still in on Tesla? Yep, still open. At least for now. Nope, just got just got stopped on Tesla. All right. Where did we get into Tesla again? Up here. AMD's getting wrecked. Yep, down a lot. Stafford says got an alert from AMD on Matt's naked put indicator, thinking of selling some puts on AMD. Yeah, you're not the only one. I would just be careful on the current candle that we have today. I would, again, I just got out of mine. I will also reconsider to get back in, but AMD on a daily chart right now, this seems like a very, very dangerous candle. Obviously, a lot of selling in it. So that's the time that you want to sell puts because those put premium is crazy. We actually said before, I think, was it? I want to wait till like 110.50. So we've already exceeded that. The next stop down would be 108.50. So if it comes down a little bit lower, I might consider doing it. But that's a very, very bearish engulfing candle. And we are still technically up a lot. Like we've done nothing but just skyrocket and we're just consolidating still. But yeah, on a day like this where it's just nonstop selling, that's probably a day you'd want to at least consider. So I like it to sell some puts. I think I'm going to personally wait a little bit longer just because that candle today, right now, it's not closed. It could look very different at the end of the day. But that doesn't tell me. It tells me I could probably get a wait or day or two. What I would like to see. Let's see if this happens or not. And again, I don't know where this candle closes or how this looks at the end. But for me, what I would love to see is all of this kind of fear panic coming in today, and then you get some kind of a gap down tomorrow. That gap down would be my time where I would love to buy some or sell some puts. Because then all of that selling, anybody in there short, hanging in overnight, they're going to take profits. So right at open, if you're selling some puts on AMD, if this is a gap down, I don't know if it is or not, but that would be a great time to then buy or sell some puts. And then this move alone, you'll probably start to become profitable in that trade and decide if you want to buy it back for less or not. But I'll typically look at a lot of those after big moving candles. All right, let's see what else we got. I guess we don't need this fib anymore. Does that make sense for TTM squeeze? Anybody have any questions on that? Leon says, "Hi Dan, what time frame is good for day trading indices and gold? Is the mentorship programs helpful?" I don't know if we have any mentorship groups just for gold specifically. I know Maloney, which she's away for, I think she comes back like the 16th, but I know she does a lot of the futures trading. So if you're interested in futures, she would be a good mentor group to be in. But yeah, in general, and so any of my mentor groups, they're going to be all stock related. They're going to be some options if you want like heavier options. Probably Tony would be a good one to go for. Johnny has a good mentor group too. I think he covers. So if he'll work with a lot of new beginner traders. So if like you're brand new and like he'll be able to cover a lot of, get you caught up with the markets, the stocks, the sentiment, the candles. So I'll go through a lot of that as well, but then we go into a little bit more, a little bit more advanced trading as well. But yeah, the groups are nice because it's only 8 of you. Usually we will max out the seating at 8. So somewhere anywhere from like 6 to 8 people in the groups, and you meet once a week for 8 weeks. And it's usually by an hour and a half, something like that each time you meet. But that will help set up your plan. That will help fine tune a plan that you might already have. We'll go through certain setup strategies. We'll go through back trading. But the beautiful part about that, I mean, right now there's, I don't even know how many people in the room, and I've probably missed some questions that came in. There it's very hands-on, very personal, and you're able to really tweak and help your trading strategy. Is there a room for futures? Ricky Cadden might do some future. Yeah, so Ricky Cadden, that one I think is you guys probably seen him yesterday, but I think he does his 5 a.m. Eastern because he's in Australia. So for him, it's like perfect timing. But he'll do futures trading in that one. Maloney will also do futures trading when she's back. And that will be during the regular all access pass. Leon says, which group should I join? Just based on the fact that you just typed a question into the chat pane, and I don't know much about your trading, how long you've been trading, things like that. I would be ill-advised to answer that for you because I don't know exactly what you're looking for. But if you want to shoot me an email, you can shoot it to dan@reallifetrading.com. Let me know a little bit more about yourself, and I could help guide you into the right direction. Or if you go right to the Real Life Trading website and click on mentorship groups, there will also be a description of kind of the different mentors and what they're going to cover in those classes. So that could also help you out too, if that helps. Ron says Dan's mentorship is excellent. Ron is a paid sponsor of my mentorship group, so now I gotta send him $20. That was crazy. Appreciate that. Let's see. Scott says, where did the name High Wave Candle come from? I've seen them called indecision candles, battleground candles, or narrow body candles. Is that something that Jeremy came up with? No. High wave is a common term. There's multiple names for probably almost everything in the stock market. But essentially, yeah. So they're technically called high wave candles. I would say actually more commonly called high wave candles. But essentially what happens if you break down the sentiment of a high wave candle, so you have, let's say this is your candle, right? The name of it would be a high wave. The sentiment in this candle would be indecision, right? Because let's say this candle, let's say it's a red candle, right? It doesn't matter, red, green. But in this case, it's red. That means this thing opened up here and we closed down here. Right. But at some point, the bulls thought they were going to win. The bulls got this stock all the way up here. So the price action went this way. And the bears said, no, that's not happening. Right. And bears brought it all the way down here during the opening of this candle, during the live session of this candle. And the bears said, no, stop it. Right. So both the bulls and the bears thought they had a good move on the candle. and it closed pretty much essentially back to where it opened. So nobody's really winning the battle. So you do have a little bit of a bull bear fight in there, but you have an indecision. Like, okay, is this thing actually going to go higher from here, or is the bears going to win? We don't know what's going to happen after indecision, right? So a lot of times the way you want to play indecision is wait for a decision to be made. This is what and so far the markets haven't been giving me too much this week, but this is one of my favorite candles at open. So if I'm looking at a daily chart and I'm looking at things going, hey, I think we got bullish sentiment today. I think we should be rallying at home. And they give me a red indecision candle. All right, cool. I only want to get filled if a decision's been made, right? That's where I'm going to put my stop limit order, and then that should be my stop right below it. So you can get a really nice tight setup on this. So if I come in and I'm bullish on something and the market doesn't know what to do, I'm like, I can find a little inefficiency in the market of like, okay, they haven't made up their mind yet, so we'll see. My entry would be above it and not during the day. I'm still looking for those high wave candles. So let's say AMD, for instance. We tried it on NVIDIA, which is probably too soon, right? But it had a little bit of that. So if you have that, let's say you're selling, everything looks like it's going to the downside, and then you see one of those indecision candles come in. All right, well, they're trying to decide, does this thing go lower from here or higher? If you add extra volume on that time frame, so you get like some kind of weird volume spike on that indecision, something like that, that's probably a better time where this could be your reversal, right? And you're same thing, probably play it entry above it. So if the market says no, we're not done selling yet, then honestly this one shouldn't break and you shouldn't get triggered, right? Otherwise, if they're like, okay, you know what, this is reversal time in the market, you got that volume, you're looking good, and that breaks out, this is a very good candle to play during the day. So I'll play them at open. I'll look for them throughout the day as well. Ron says FedEx. He's talking about the stock. I'm not sure. FDX, right? Oh, for the $20, man, you're old school. You want people to FedEx you $20? You're not even gonna try to make it easy for me. There's like Venmo, there's Zelle, there's like so many new advancements to how people could get paid. You're still hanging on to FedEx. All right, whatever's easier for you there, Ron. All right, just waiting. Wave count wise on Nvidia. Again, I don't think Nvidia is going to get any much love if AMD is getting crushed. Boeing kind of hanging out. A little bit of a double bottom, trying to basically chop. SQ. 2, 3. Pushed lower. So Square's pulling back. PayPal. I do want PayPal to come down again. I've already gotten out of the PayPal OKTA. Okta's pulling back a little bit. What about Disney? Still hanging out. Does Google have a 5-wave count? I don't know if it does or not. That definitely looks like some consolidation at the bottom. I would think that this is my 3, this is my 2, this is my 1. And is that my 4 or 5? I don't know if I buy that. I think this is our 4. I probably want to wait, be patient. Maybe I get a double bottom. Otherwise, this does look like good consolidation. There's kind of that, it's not really a indecision high wave, I would say. This would be more of a good volume hammerish looking candle. Decent amount of room if you're just playing that candle up to VWAP. But in a bigger picture, I think I would like a double bottom on this thing. Netflix starting to get a little bit of love. That could be a 5-wave count on Netflix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Netflix looks decent. I don't know how we're gonna act on the VWAP. So far, it looks like we just missed it, but that could get some more continuation on it. Is anybody else in anything? I know somebody wanted Unity software earlier. That one's just kind of getting wrecked. Palantir, PLTR. Maybe double bottom. That would be an interesting double bottom if that comes in. Kyle's still shorting Tessie. Yeah. It's hanging out for now, but stop me out for small loss. Let's see, where is my trading view? Palantir, PLTR. Ron's getting in Boeing long. Yeah, something like Boeing that has at least bullish momentum on a daily. Even Palantir. I mean, Palantir's ran a lot. We're still hanging in from the candle from Monday, which was essentially the breakout candle. So again, it's one of those stocks that could, like, if it comes down, there's probably some people like, man, I want to get in. I don't know if it's not really low enough to get in though. HD looking to go long. Let's see, HD. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we'd have to watch this pullback. That is a bullish engulfing candle for sure. Let me see HD on the daily. It was a gap and go that retested. You do have the daily 10 EMA that's going to sit somewhere around 327.48. So maybe the daily 10 would be some kind of support. Otherwise, anything really below, I would say 328.92 would sit a little bit more bearish. 328.92. So we're right there. This would be your kind of has to bounce here type zone. Otherwise, I could see a price down to 325.57 if the 10 doesn't hold. And then you have VWAP, which could be a little rejection spot too. Let's see if I could join Ron. 233. No, he's already. Ron always tells me after. 233.75. I'm gonna get Ron's price. I'll have to wait. Looking on Nvidia, CVX, Meta, and Tesla. Yeah, what's Meta doing? It looks a little wonky too. Maybe double bottom. I mean, you're starting to get some volume coming in. I think a lot of people would be eyeing this 315.60 as your target. CVX. Down 2.3%. SPY stabilized a little bit, but 450.44 was the low of the day. Let me see the SPY one more time. This is going to be an important candle today. If we close down here, that's not looking great. Not one bit. These AI algos are monsters. Tesla straight up, straight down. Meta double bottom, double top. It will be easier for algos in August. Less volume. I think Hector's puts are probably looking pretty decent. 233.75. Okay. 232.89. I mean, the other thing about the markets too, what I would call a greedy long, greedy short. If things move a lot like this on the SPY, things move like this on CVX, everybody's first thought is like, okay, where do we get the bounce? The bounce doesn't always have to come, at least not for that day. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Volume was off on Tesla yesterday by like 30%. Yeah. There's your hammer on Nvidia coming in. I don't know why I drew a line. It's on the wrong thing. Again, is this the spot on the vids? AMD still looks a little bit weak. But there's a stock that talk about the hogs getting slaughtered. I don't know if you want to consider AMD a slaughter stock or a hog. SPY still looking kind of on the weak. Again, 450.44 was the low of the day. Tesla's making a move down. I'm a buyer under 100 on AMD. Even in a recession, win. Yeah, I think even from this 109, I mean, in a long-term aspect, I think AMD will be higher at some point. But it doesn't mean it can't get back to $85. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if we could get some good put sales back at the 95 zone. I wouldn't mind owning shares at 95. So if that's your case, you are getting, we said 108 and change, and we're about $1 away from that. Let me look at some put sales real quick on. I might have to look at some of this. Options, AMD. September. So today's the second. I probably have to go with the first. What's that one paying? $95. Get $1.05, $1.06. Yeah. I don't love a recession, but I will. If it does come, I'm prepared. I'm ready for it. That will be an absolutely incredible opportunity to just make life-changing money if it comes in. Market at all-time highs. While it's great for everybody now, not usually the best. So, and as things get out of proportion one way or the other, it's just go slow, just move slow, just wait. All right, do we want to try AMD? We do have a little bit of a double bottom. Technically, that still made a new lower high, lower low, so we don't really have quite anything there. Do have some volume spikes coming in. The last one really came in on that mini high wave, which we did have some kind of a bear trap underneath. Might be too soon. I might have to sell those puts though. Kind of want to wait a little bit. I would love, I'm going to wait to sell those. I would love a little gap down tomorrow. That'd be beautiful. Yeah, when markets and stocks are just running like crazy and they're up 130%, 200%, whatever crazy numbers this year's been giving us. I mean, I still buy for the long term, but you just have to be very particular. Like I said on the long term portion on Monday, I kind of like when I get into something and it goes lower, because that means it's already at my pricing and I'm getting better pricing, and that in the long term is going to work out better. But this market's like, okay, cool, this stock is down, and then you buy it, and then a month later it's already 30% higher, and you're like, I don't can't really do much now. So it's not great for building bigger positions, but there's still companies out there that I don't mind owning. AMD still kind of rolling downwards. Double bottom on Google, maybe. You do have a good candle right there. I don't know where to get into this thing. If we put a limit order in, we could have got filled. Does look a little bit 5-wave countish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. SPY is trying, but we're gonna have to battle through some of those. And Netflix could be interesting too. 430, 41. 428 even. $435. Can we get to the high of the day? That I don't know. Netflix. That would be an astonishing move to get to 2 Rs. Fourth. That would be the spot. Yeah, I mean, let me draw a quick fib. So if I eyeball this thing, it's probably about a 50%. That's about a 50% bounce. Hmm. The only thing I could really do is bring my stops up a little bit, and then I don't really want to lose an R on Netflix. 0.28. Now we would need 434. Yeah, the only way I could get really where I think Netflix would go, bring my stop up. And we do have a little bit of a double bottom potentially on the SPY. It's not confirmed yet. And we do have Google, looks interesting as well. Nvidia just keeps getting wrecked. I think we mentioned that. Like, yeah, if this thing falls apart, probably a good idea to reverse it. Of course, I did not do that. Boeing just playing games that you were on. Brooks still taking Nvidia down. BE8, beautiful. That is quite the ride. Quite the ride. Let me see Meta. I love on Meta yet. Google could be an interesting short, but then we're far from that. What, 128.49. I don't know if this is too much of a greedy short or not. Could be 128.10. Let's see if I can get it above VWAP. 129.75. That gives me some room to play. 129.75. And it really hasn't done too much. It's down 2% on the day. Maybe that double bottom is in on the SPY. I kind of wanted to go long like 2 seconds ago. 128.89. Let me see if I can reverse it. 128.29. 89. Sorry. And we'll go stop low of the day, 128.41. Just don't know if it's gonna bounce. Like, it doesn't have to. There goes Nvidia for you, Brooke. Problems at 234. Need to close over 234. Well, you're exactly at 234 right now. Is this going to be a bounce spot in the market? If so, Google would be very interesting. Even Tesla down here is at the 100% retracement. This would be your next spot to look for Tesla, 254.51. 0.51. And again, is this the day? 252.50. It's also a gap and go on daily too. 1, 2. It's just all a 3. I can't take it yet, but this is gonna be your spot. We got one little bounce so far. If we bounce here, that would be your second. You do have that. It's kind of similar to Google, that weird looking candle. Most of that volume actually came on that first drop, though. Not that little high wave. Meta could be interesting too. If this is where we're done selling, I'm not sure that that's going to be the case. 113.49. It's very hard for me to short. 112. We'll go 112. Not 312. 312 even. This is 313. Personal day trade, META. 313.49 by 312. Well, give me 1 second on this one. Let me just check the daily. It's also a gap and go. You got the 10 coming in. The 10 is sitting at 311.49, so I might have to bring that down further. If we were to go bullish on this thing, 316.47 would have to be my target. 316.47 could be doable. Today's VPOC right now is sitting 315.77, so we'd have to get past that. I'd have to go for maybe a 1.2. That'd take me to 315.27, essentially 28. It would be a 1.2 trade. I'm gonna wait. I have to wait on that one. 10 EMA bull signal on Netflix. What time frame? Oh, I thought you were using like a Momo or something. But yeah, 10 EMA. Yeah, it's there. You also got VWAP right in front of your face. I kind of feel like the selling is not done yet on everything. This one's been holding up at least. Let's see. Do we have a TTM squeeze in a small time frame on Netflix? And if so, where's that at? Yep, we're in a squeeze right now on a 5-minute. Momentum starting to change. So we got 2 out of 3 for a perfect squeeze. The only thing that is a huge negative would be all of those moving averages are stacked actually more bearish than bullish. So if you want to play just a TTM without the perfect, you're looking here. But the reason why the moving averages is so important for the perfect squeeze, and like you have a good ratio on this without the perfect squeeze, without using those moving averages. It's decent. It's not horrible, but you most likely have more winning than losing. But when you add those moving averages into it, like that's where it just catapults it. Because right now, again, all of these moving averages, they're honestly they're garbage. They're just telling you what the average price was based on that amount of time frame in the past. So it doesn't tell you anything about where the stock's going. Um, but people will have them on the charts. They'll look at them. They'll use things as targets. So all of this could be targets for bulls, and the entire way up, we could have the ability to get smacked down. Whereas opposed to before, if this one, all these moving averages were below us, then people are looking to buy off those moving averages, and they tend to act as some kind of support. But it's not bad. You do have a double bottom. That looks good. Again, you do have the squeeze in place. That looks good. I would be terrified of VWAP coming in if this is actually going to be a good on reversal. Boeing's starting to flip a little. Yeah. Well, we did bounce off it once, actually twice. So we're respecting the VWAP. Just anytime we've hit the VWAP, yeah, we've been rejected. So this is our first candle that kind of came up into VWAP. That got rejected. Right here, we tried to make a bullish case. That got rejected. Over here, that one got rejected as well. So is the 4th or 5th time the lucky charm? What is the green ENA measure? EMA? I'm not quite sure what that question is. The green. Can you re-ask that? I like that name, Techno Pop 3 Plus. So it's 3 plus, so that could be 4. Yeah, if you could ask that question again, I'm not quite sure I understand. I'm looking for anything green on my screen. I don't really have it. I don't see anything green. I'm guessing that was EMA. I'm not quite sure. Oh, on the other chart, this one. You talking about this one? That's 89. There's a green line on the SPY chart. Oh, if you guys want to consider that green, I don't know. That's one of them I think is the 100, one of them is the 9. 9 and 10 for some reason. Yep. All right, Google trying to get a little bit of love, finding maybe some kind of home down here. I just don't trust anything in the bullish direction yet. But the SPY itself, it does have a double bottom on it. We'd have to battle through we'd have to battle through 452.04 on the SPY if we're going to change any type of sentiment whatsoever. Boeing is just chilling. Tesla again, sideways chop. Nvidia really hasn't stopped selling. And AMD again, we're getting close to where I think the selling could stop on AMD. I'm just not convinced yet. I want to see one more drop, maybe even $1 lower or something like that would be fun. CVS. I do like CVS in the long term. I think it's a good deal. A very good deal. Look at that daily. Yeah, that's quite the bullish engulfing candle. Maybe it comes down to 75.66. I prefer it lower. I prefer it somewhere around 74.83. But maybe up here is not great risk reward if you're going to S curve up there. And the price of CVS has not changed since I've been looking at. There we go. I don't know if TOS was just frozen or somehow CVS gets halted. I'm not sure. All right, now do we try Netflix? What was the order on it? Oh, 430. I already took it off the Excel. So there's a bullish engulfing candle. Give me 1 second, team. I'll be right back. All right. I am back. Again, this market is trying to wake up. 110.49. Should we just give a shot to AMD? 110.49. Go 108.70. We have to get back to 114.07. I mean, AMD. Probably definitely oversold, to say the least. I have today's VPOC at 111.47. It's gonna be tough. Finally out of Nvidia. Short, you got 1.52. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Amazon might be getting ready to turn. Maybe. If I was to try this one, I'd probably do a limit buy. 128.29. 128.29. 127. Where do I want to put that? I'm gonna go 127.70. Let's even go more. Let's go 60. 127.60. I would need 120, 129.67 for 2 hours. We'd have to get through this VWAP. Are you already in, Cindy, or not yet? I'm contemplating it. Yeah. I like that. So there's a good volume candle here. I think we come back. We could retest kind of the break. I'd have to make a decision soon, though. Let me see on a bigger time frame just so we don't get lost in the 3 minutes. Essentially, we came back down, tested this high wave candle. Okay, that's not bad. The break of this one would be 127.72. So you know what? I think we could do 127.70. If it breaks that on a 15-minute just for today, it's not looking pleasant. 120, we need 129, so we gotta get back through that 10. Interesting hammer. Anything gonna get the juice to really run through VWAPs today. Yeah, it does look tired. It's not a bad spot. I mean, location wise, like you had some kind of indecision high wave, you gapped up from there. This all could just be a retest into this. 128.29. That's exactly where we have it. And I'm throwing a stop below that. That could get me good risk reward. I don't think we come up for that gap fill, but even with that order, we need 129.47 for 2 hours. And then on 1.2, if we get there, would be 128.99. So essentially 129. We could take that. If we get filled here, if it get filled there, it makes everything tougher. Spy again, kind of pulling back still. I don't know if breaking through some of those moving averages. It almost feels like all of these rallies are kind of getting sold into. Anytime we're getting pops anywhere, we're giving it right back. There was a rejection again off that VWAP on Netflix. Let's keep Amazon up here. I'm debating it. I'm debating it. I don't know where we could get in. And then again, we could come up tighter with the stops and have a little bit of a different setup. That's really the spot that I'd entertain the idea, though. 28.29, and then if this market just continues to drop, I'll try. I'll take a stab at it. I'll see if I get filled on it. Personal day trade, AMZN, 128.29 by 127.70. Worst case, I mean, at least we're buying it low. Only at our risk. Amazon. So this would be a limit buy if you guys are going to try to take it. Limits 128.29. Palantir. W 1875 on Palantir. Still up 81% overall on it though. Not bad. So the question is this market really done selling? If it is, and we get this fill and Amazon's tired, we'd have a good chance. But we'd have to pull back a little bit more to try to get filled lower. And if we are just selling rips, this will not work. There's an interesting hammer coming in on Boeing. Kind of like that one better. 233.20. $232.50. I'll go 232.20. I'm gonna cancel Amazon. I'm gonna take Boeing. I'm gonna join you, Ron. Cancel that one. As the end, set up Boeing. Okay, let me get that in the broker. Stop limit 233.20. All right, so I got Boeing set up $1, and Boeing is kind of tight. But we definitely got some volume down there. That looks interesting at least. This is where if anybody is still keeping the Amazon open, you might be getting filled very soon. Would it have gotten us? And then targets on Boeing. I don't know. This makes it tough. 235.20 would be 2 Rs. We've rejected VWAP a few times. SPY still kind of coming down. Amazon would be getting filled here. So we get the luxury of seeing if that would work or not. Nvidia still selling. Tesla still coming down. Yeah, I don't know if I trust this market. But either hopefully Boeing just collapses from here and we could cancel, or skyrockets from here and doesn't skip us. That would be great. Fantastic. 128.29. Oh, so far that's holding. And I got filled. Okay. Thought I got skipped on that. I am in. Probably just going for the 1.2. This is, let me get my stop out there, 332.20. I probably will not get that much room to move stops. You got filled as well. So target on Boeing, we'll go with 1.2 because we're going counter trend today. 234.40. 234.40 is the Boeing target. There's still a shot if you want that Amazon too. And if we could get any kind of continued pop to this 234.40, 234.40, we will have to break through that VWAP. I'm going to get my stops up immediately on this one. 232.80 is new stop. Again, just trying to lose less than an R, and I don't want to see that hammer break. So 232.80. 32.80. All right, took a decent amount of risk off the table already. Let's see if we get any kind of follow through. That was a pretty decent close for us on Boeing. We still got to fight this 10 EMA, but that was a rather solid close. Does help get our stops up. If we could get any type of closes below the 10 EMA, I think we get our stops up even a little bit higher, 232.93. But for the extra 13 cents for right now, let's just see what happens on Boeing. And we are going counter trends. It's choppy and does weird candles. So praying for rain, but preparing for drought. Okay. Yeah. Again, I mean, this would be trade number 3. Most of them are going counter trend on, just because everything kind of sold off already. Looking for a bounce, doesn't have to come. But I mean, we're holding up even with 3. We were able to move stops on all of them pretty decently. So taking the opportunity when we can see it. And we're still hanging in there. And we got about 7 minutes till 12 noon, lunchtime hour. Things could slow down even more. And yeah, all of August, I do expect a little bit of chop and light volume. So we'll see. I can't imagine the lunchtime volume starts picking up, but you're down 1.27 overall on the SPY. Amazon still kind of hanging out at that zone as well. Again, this is at least the interesting spot to buy Amazon, to take a stab in the dark at it. Cindy, are you going to take Amazon? Out of Tesla, you got 2.17. Cindy says not in. Daniel says, hi, Dan, on Tesla, would you have shorted a breakdown or retest? So honestly, I don't know of what part of the day you're talking about. Honestly, I was looking at this reversal spot up here, but I did want to see a double top, so I couldn't just blindly take that one. But I did like it somewhere in that zone for the short. But it was showing some strength, so I couldn't take that. This one would have been, and again, we went long just because it was sitting somewhere in the 618 zone, and it showed strength this morning. So I was looking to see if we could get some more strength. We were able to get our stops up, lose very little on the trade. But if you're also looking, hey, I think Tesla's bearish, which on the daily it does have that feel of bearishness. You're probably, I bet you the 50 or 618 is somewhere right here. So here's your 50% retracement where we got up to. We could not break that. That was your sign that we were probably heading lower, which is why we kind of just moved, stopped, and let it do what it wants. You're looking at around 255. Yep. So then this is a spot you could look. This is also a good 10 EMA bearish, right? So if you want to reverse it, you could do that as well, or could have done it as well, right? So now you have some type of double bottom in here, right? Still making lower lows. There's your 10 EMA candle, that green one. So if you want to reverse a position, you could go one right there. Actually, never mind, not even this candle. This one right here is your double bottom. So this is where you're hoping that this higher high comes in. That's your first green candle. So that one's the one that has to kind of hold if this thing is going to pull up any type of strength. Otherwise, there's your cue to go in. Elon Musk is down 4.1 billion. I love that everybody just turned, like, everybody turned on Elon. They're like, he was the greatest guy ever. And then as soon as he buys like Twitter, probably leading up to that, but then Twitter solidified it, where everyone's like, no, we don't like Elon. And then during that time when like Tesla was getting down to like the 110, 120 area, wherever it got down to, there was like a news report every day about like how much Elon is losing. And then it comes right back, and like, oddly enough, all the news stories stopped of like just out to get him. But yeah, he's like, yeah, it's the stock market. It's gonna go up and down. That's what happens. They're like, he lost another 20 billion. He's no longer on the he is now living in a refrigerator box right outside the highway. He's crazy. Elon Musk, he's fallen from graces. And then everything rallies back. You don't hear anything about like, not one article's like, all right, he made all his money back and he's actually got more wealth now than he did before. Not one article. It's crazy. He's still 13 billion ahead in the lead. Yeah, he's got some ways to fall. His last conference call was, like, I don't think he wants to throw out exact prices anymore, but he legitimately said, and I think he tried to keep it as general as possible, but he was pretty much coming out saying, yeah, maybe don't buy high in the stock market. Things could be a little bit high. I think the saying is buy low, sell high. And as a if you're an investor in Tesla, I don't think that's the exact statement you want to hear from your CEO. Like, maybe things are a little bit high right now and not the time to buy. Doesn't Elon live in a boxable? It's debatable. I mean, Boxable will claim that he lives in a boxable because that's good for him. I think it is a boxable, but that's out in I think that was out in his Texas Gigafactory or something, they put it. But like, Boxable will hype that thing up like crazy. Like, Elon Musk lives in a boxable. If the world's richest man could live in a boxable, so could you. But then, oddly enough, like, he didn't order any more boxables. He hasn't endorsed boxable. He hasn't actually admitted to the fact that it is a boxable. So I don't know if he's living in the casita or not. He just sleeps on a lot of times he just sleeps in the factory. You don't care. All right, so Boeing, that green candle, and what could have been a potential rally, maybe not going to happen with the SPY still coming down, but still getting a little bit of balance. And again, we're just chipping a chair on the trade. We're seeing if we can survive, and if we could, I mean, again, we're just risk the reward. We bought it low. Amazon just fell right through. So no love on the Zon. Glad that was a cancel. I think we'd still be in that one. I think the stop was, we were trying for like 127.70. Yeah. So we'd be in there, but that one also not looking good. So it doesn't look like the selling pressure is letting up at all. But to risk half an hour essentially on Boeing to try it. It's giving me the setup. Just counter trends. SEDG. Let me see this thing on the daily. It looks kind of flat on the intraday.
Hey, buddy.
Johnny G, what's happening?
How you doing, my friend?
Looking at SEDG on the other screen, this has got to be the spot where it's saved, Cindy. So it looks all types of bearish on a daily chart, but if any bulls are out there, this has got to be the spot to save it. So again, you could get risk reward, but I don't think you're gonna get much love for a rally. But yeah, what's going on, Johnny G?
How's it going, man? How was your Wednesday?
Just another day trying to navigate some markets. So we've tried to I'm in Boeing right now. This is my third attempt. We took 2 trades early, one in Tesla, one I'd have to look back, can't even remember what it was. Both of those we lost very small, able to move stops. So still in the game. If any bulls are out there whatsoever and we could pop Boeing to a 1.2, I think I'd actually be positive on the day. So again, it's all about trading is risk to reward and math and moving those stops, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
So
pretty crazy, right? I don't know. I'm thinking on the SPY, I'm wondering if we're in could be like maybe on the Qs. Let me look at the Qs. Yeah, Qs looks like it more like we just left public participation back in middle of July, and I'm wondering if we're just going to chop up and down, back and forth here, up in that 375-ish area. Yeah, 375 to 384. What do you think?
I think that could be on that page. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I do think most of August will be a little bit more choppy. So you still have. I don't think the buy the dippers are actually done yet. I think there's still a lot of money on the sidelines wanting to come into the market. But yeah, we haven't had any pullbacks whatsoever. So at the same time, they've been punishing bears if trying to go short anything. I mean, they've been just kind of rallying it right back. So whether that's going to be the case or not, I don't think we have the same strength in the buy the dip yet, but a little bit of a chop sideways, some kind of indecision before we make the move, I think would make sense. So yeah, I'm still looking for some kind of reversal somewhere for right now. And I think the SPY daily candle is going to be a very important one today, because depending on where this thing closes, if we don't get the rally today, there could be some more gap downs tomorrow. Yeah, I think if we close down there below that neckline, just filled a little tiny gap that was remaining, and yeah. But you know how the market has been very tricky, right? All you need is one little news or Fed speaker or something. Yeah. But have you seen AMD today? So AMD, again, even pre-market, I was like, they're rallying this thing up pretty hard. And it wasn't a bad earnings report, but it wasn't anything crazy. I think they beat by like a penny. Like I was like, I can't explain that move. It seems a little overdone. I just couldn't get a spot to short this thing. But that is looking like a huge bearish engulfing candle on a daily. So I know I've had a couple questions of when to sell some puts, and I'm like, I'm going to wait for now. Yeah. I want to see maybe toward the end of the day where this thing can get. But I was looking for like 108.50. We're already dropping past that. So I think this could start to be a little oversold on AMD. But you know very well that just because something's down a lot doesn't mean it can't go more. So right. It's just tougher. I think there are going to be a lot of people interested in buying this bad boy down there about right where that daily 100 is, maybe 103.5 area. Yeah, somewhere down there makes sense. Yeah, I'm looking for probably like the 95 put sale, something like that. Yeah, but, man. Sounds good. Everybody enjoying free week? Free week is lots halfway done, man. That's too quick. That's too quick. Can we extend it? Can we double
Sure,
down? Well,
sure. I don't think, yeah. I don't know how that works as far as a business model is concerned, but yeah, we could extend it.
Alex says free year.
That
Maybe.
might be coming. That might be coming. I mean, yeah, we had our team meeting last night and there was some interesting stuff we were discussing.